Hey folks, this is Jason Lewis, the producer of the From the Shadows podcast. I just want to remind you about our website, fromtheshadowspodcast.com. We have a Facebook page. We would appreciate it if you like and follow. Also, join our discussion group on Facebook called After the Shadows. We have a Twitter feed. Please follow us on Twitter. It can be found with @podcast_from. Follow us on Instagram at From the Shadows Podcast. We have a YouTube channel. Go to the search bar at YouTube and put From the Shadows Podcast, and please subscribe to that channel. We are also on the Odyssey Radio Network, and we can be found there at odyssey1.com. We're still on the traditional podcatchers that everybody loves to listen to us on. We get a lot of feedback, so please rate the podcast and communicate with whether you're on Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or Google Podcasts. We're there, and we appreciate it when you leave comments for us. We also have a Patreon page. It can be found at www.patreon.com/From the Shadows. You can receive books, stickers, coffee mugs, and special content just for our Patreon subscribers. Check it out for yourself and see what packages that we have to offer. Well, that's all I have for you right now, folks, and thanks for being a part of the From the Shadows podcast family. So with that being said, let's get this episode started.
So here's another tactic.
Sometimes when you dump out, and you guys that have been in big airports know what I'm talking about. The travelers will know exactly what I'm talking about. But on these international airports, sometimes there'll be 4, 5, 6 planes. If you're in Minneapolis, has the same thing in certain times of the day. You know, certainly your Chicago, your Philly. I happen to be in Paris. So, this 777 is what, 200, and I think there's 168 people in coach, 60 some people in business, and then another 30 in first class. So 210 people, 218. A 747-400, it might have 360 to 420, depending on what you're doing. So it's like flying, and I usually say Russellville, which is this little town from where I'm from. But it's like a whole little town, right?
Yeah.
So all those people walk through the checkpoint at the same time. They all go out there, and they all want in a cab at the same time. So just one plane will have 300 people. So sometimes in an airport like Paris or Amsterdam, you'll have 5, 6, 7 of these things from all over the world dumping out at the same time. So when you go out to get in a taxi line, it might have 500 people in it. Now, there's a load of taxis, and they've got them stacked up, so it's not wait for one. You just got to wait your turn to get to the top of the line because they go only 10 or 15 in a row. It takes the first 10 or 15 people in the line, or 10 or 15 parties, you know what I mean? So it's just a real slow departure sometimes. Well, there's people, I don't even know what you call them, scabs or whatever. There's dudes walking around, people walking around that'll tell the passengers, hey, you need where you need to go, come with me. And in my old capacity, we were always told not to do that because they were afraid of getting kidnapped, or a lot of times when we were traveling for Team America, we just had security briefs. We had things that went on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big no-no. That was a big no-no to get out of the line and go with some scab taxi driver, right? Because you don't know if you're being targeted or whatever. So we were waiting in this line. I was kind of the dude in charge, and we're waiting in this line. And I hate to use Moroccan guys again, but I got Casablanca on my mind. This big Moroccan looking guy walks up to me and says, "You guys need a cab?" And I said, "Yeah, maybe that's why we're in line. Come with me. I got one right out here." And I said, "Come on, dude. We can't go with you. You know it's against the law." "No, it'll be okay. You can trust me." So he doesn't bat an eye when I tell him what he's doing is illegal, and you know what I mean? He's like, "Oh, come on, he can come with me."
Oh, so I'm sure that's great. Anytime you tell somebody they're doing something illegal and they don't bat an eye, you gotta feel safe.
Exactly. So I told the dudes that I was with, I said, let's just go. And they go, are you serious? I said, what? I said, this is the deal. We used to have, there's certain things we did. And I, I'm going to get in the front seat with him. You guys are going to be in the back seat. And, if we even get hinked up, we'll take his car. We'll leave him and kick him out. You know what I mean? That's the whole point. I think
this has international incident. This has international incident written all over it.
It does. Yeah. It maybe it does, but and that's what I think I was saying something the other day about people being scared or something. And I'm like, they need to be worried about me, right? Because I'm one. That's why I love this COVID mask. I wear my mask all the time. People go, God, why are you wearing that mask? Because I'm deciding if I'm going to rob this place or take y'all out or whatever. I wear it all the time. I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to go off the reservation today or tomorrow. So we jump in this, and we can walk out there, and it's a big Audi A8, big body car.
Oh yeah,
big expensive car. So that tells me he ain't your average hand to the mouth taxi driver. So now I'm going, okay, now we are getting freaking kidnapped. You know what I mean? This has got international criminal written all over it. So I jump in this thing, and at the same time I'm having small talk with him. I said, where are you from? And I forgot what he said. I think ultimately he ended up being from Yemen, which is a big red flag. I mean, Morocco was one thing, but you get in a car with some Yemen dude, and that's like saying you got in a car with somebody from West Virginia. You know what I mean? Now he's got out in his, you know what I mean? My grandma, my mom's mom. Hey, hold on a second. My mom's mom was from Mingo County, West Virginia, and your people out there in West Virginia, I mean, when you get, it's in their DNA to feud, to do some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? It's just, they can't help it. You know what I mean?
I just want to apologize to Bo Kennedy, the host of the Bump podcast. He doesn't mean you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Why? Is he from West Virginia?
Oh, yeah.
Well, he knows. Hey, now hold on. He won't be offended. He won't, because he knows. He's from West Virginia. He knows, right? He knows.
I can't wait. I can't wait for him to comment on this one. Go ahead.
I asked this guy, hey, when's the last time you've been back home? I just went back home. I said, what'd you do, man? Build some IEDs, shoot some stuff up? Oh, no, nothing like that, he says. We just been, I was riding dirt bikes in the desert. I said, oh, come on. What do you mean dirt bikes? YZs, REMs? Well, yeah, dirt bikes. So he pulls out his phone, and sure enough, there's pictures of him and some dudes and big old, big enduro dirt bikes, big like Kawasaki KLRs or something like that. Your dirt bike.
Okay.
Big KTM 450, something big. Mm-hmm. Dirt bikes out in the desert. It looks like Lawrence of Arabia on two strokes. But doing like I always do when I got somebody strange dude's phone, somebody's going to show you a picture. You just got to keep swiping, right?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I just saw a meme about that today on Facebook.
So I swiped left 3, 4, 5 times, and sure enough, it was 3 or 4, 5. And then I got the AK pictures. Same dudes. They're standard AKs, RPKs. I said, hey, dude, I told you. Hey, and the whole time, now if you've seen, we're on out, would be considered like an interstate. Right outside of CDG is a big interstate, big highway system until you get throttled when you get into town, and he's probably driving 90, 100 kilometers. He's going faster than twice as fast as the speed limit. Boom, telling me, no, man, I ain't no terrorist. I get the machine gun pictures. I say, hey, what the F is this? Right here. I show the dudes in the back seat. I said, see? I said, we got Bin Laden here with us. This is before he got killed. I said, look at this. We're riding with Bin Laden or something. He starts laughing. No. He says, that's a shooting range, public shooting range. Like you have in America, we have public shooting ranges over there. Uh-huh. I bet you do. Hey, but you know what? Took us right to our hotel. I think he charged me 40 euros. Boom. Took us out.
So it turned out he was a legit cab driver.
Well, I don't know if he's a legit cab driver, but as we're talking, he knew enough to know. I think he knew enough, and maybe I told him because sometimes I just tell him, hey, we're going to take your car. You'd have to tell them because they'd say, oh, you shouldn't be with us, or aren't you scared? You Yankees scared? How to do say, us Yankees scared? And I was like, no, you obviously don't watch enough TV. And this is back when President Bush was in office, especially. I said, these cowboys in the back seat are from Texas. They're going to take this. They're going to take all your stuff. Are you kidding me? These are Bush boys. We ain't scared to get in a taxi, man. Come on.
I wonder if that's the scam. Is okay. Well, we got a little side. It's like a double side business. We're gonna be a taxi cab driver for the people that once we realize they're gonna just kill us and take the car, or we get in there and we realize they're nobody Americans.
This is what we're going to
kidnap. We're going to kidnap them.
You know what I think more than anything, especially this guy in the Audi. In another, I've had 2 or 3 stories like that where I knew that they knew that we were Team America. Does that make sense? I mean, you could only try to dress, especially me. You know, you just don't see a plethora of big white dudes, you know, white dudes that weigh 250 walking around in some of these places, you know, that aren't Americans. And I know that sounds, I don't know if you say racist or whatever, but you just don't see it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I think when they target us, they know 2 things. We're Team America and we're going to pay it in cash.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get a fare, now do you want to get some woman from Toledo that wants you to show her all the hot spots and they're going to balk and try to count their money and try to convert euros to dollars when you get out of the car or whatever? Or do you want the dudes that are going to roll out the bills? You know what I mean?
So like now I'm picturing like if this was a Mission Impossible movie or something, that when you guys got in a tight spot as Team America somewhere later in the trip, you were able to like pull out the phone and call the guy in the Audi A8 and come out of nowhere to pick you.
No, because there was no minigun in the Audi. No, when your Team America gets in trouble, you pull some heat out. You know what I mean? You pull some heat out. And this is off topic here, but you know, I hang out at this gun. I don't really hang out. I go to this gun shop every once in a while, and I can't really hang out there because of the tool bags that walk in it. You know what I mean? And they want to buy the latest, greatest tactical. I mean, now the dude behind the counter is a retired E8, Army E8, and has been around. Me and him have been buddies for 30 years. And he entertains these people because they spend a lot of money in there. But one day I just had to tell, you know, this guy was saying something about his, in the battlefield or in the sandbox or whatever. And I said, you know, the most dangerous people I ever been around had a cell phone. The guy goes, what? I said, cell phone, a cell phone. They didn't worry about their primary weapon, their secondary weapon, their backup weapon. They had a freaking cell phone to call some people that'll drop a bomb on this place or that place. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're jacking around trying to figure out how many, whatever. There's cats out there to get on the phone and they put a missile in your car, or they'll put a 500 or 1,000 pounder down the chimney. Come on. You're standing there jacking around your deer rifle and you just, you know what I mean? They blew the block up.
Put a scope on that, right?
With a cell phone. He just called somebody.
Yep.
Yeah. There's some dangerous people out there. They got phones.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the From the Shadows podcast. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.